really in the dark? Oh, because of his. So Rez's only light, I think, is his screen.
Yeah.
So Rez, if you could keep the show notes up, that'll be a good light.
Yeah, I will do that.
Check it out. Check it out.
Chiggity check.
Check out the overlay.
I can't see anything yet. I am not in the Twitch. Let me get into Twitch here. Oh man, that looks really good.
Why is it? It's really not loading for me in Twitch.
So if I can get the
there it goes. Now it's going.
So my farming set, that Tal Rasha's farming set is really cool. I'm looking at it right. Wait, what? Are we supposed to do Hearthstone stuff?
Yeah.
All right, let me. Twitch is trying to load for me. I don't know why I'm having such a tough time. Is Twitch good for you guys?
It's working. How do I get out of the commercials?
You got to pay money.
There's like 5 minutes of commercials before you can even start watching anything.
Oh, wow. I'm not even logged in.
There's me.
I better set up. I'm not even logged in. Oh, there it is.
So what do you think? How does it look?
I'm not in yet.
No, not you. Rez.
What's what?
How does it look? The overlay.
It looks great. I like it.
Wait, Rez.
It's very...
Where'd you get that soldier statue?
That is from...
Other side. There you go.
that is from the Overwatch Collector's Edition.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Dude, that overlay is sweet.
Thank you. At least you're paying attention.
That overlay is very sweet.
The frames around each of our pictures are based off class preferences. So Rez has the warrior frame. Espo has the hunter frame. And I decided to go with the priest frame.
Nice. Oh, apparently my Twitch Prime sub for this month is LOTI.
Woohoo.
All right, let me
Hello, Twitch chat.
Are we supposed to talk like robots? Hello, Twitch chat.
Hello.
Hello. No, that was expansions ago, Rez.
No, it's the free hero just recently.
Oh, there we go. Good job.
See?
Good job, team.
Okay.
Wait a second. So my frame is Druid?
Hunter.
Okay. I can't tell if it's green or not.
It's very similar to Druid.
I gotcha, yeah. Well, Druid Hunter, honestly, now that I think about it, like both woodland creatures. Well, actually, one hunts woodland creatures and one is a woodland creature. So, well, maybe they're not so similar. Maybe they're the opposite. Oh, geez. Okay.
Okay, and so I just realized I got to get the slideshow up. Let's see if this works. Oh, it almost works. It needs the slide.
The slideshow almost works?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why it's...
I'm looking at Shirvala right now. Whoops. No spoilers. Sorry. All right, I want to see if Twitch chat works.
Preview and
you guys.
Chicka-chee! Looks good. There we go. Slideshow works.
It's working. It is working.
Okay.
Yo. All right. I had something to put in the show notes. I'm actually going to put one thing in the show notes tonight. Nah, maybe not. I don't want to break tradition. Oh, I got to put a note on the bottom of my coffee cup.
Okay, I have to jump into the game and get my numbers.
I have 50 packs to open, but I can't open them until December. Do you know how annoying that is?
You could actually open them November 30th.
Oh,
If you go
spoiler.
to a party or start a party.
So we're going to talk about that.
Possibly.
Yeah, don't spoil anything, guys.
Back from your adventures?
Tell everybody about my party.
You're having a party?
I am very overwhelmed by in real life news. In fact, my life is overwhelming in real life news.
I mean,
Chris?
I stopped paying attention to IRL news for the most part. And it's been very good for my health.
Right.
Oh well, you know what? When BlizzCon weekend, I actually deleted Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram off my phone.
Yeah.
So that I could stay away from social media and enjoy BlizzCon. And I tell you what, I did Twitter, and I did Twitter just for the podcast, just so I could put stuff out there, that we were doing, so people could enjoy it. But that's what I told Vastidius. I said, dude, can you take care of our patron Facebook page, because I deleted Facebook off my phone.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to stay away from IRL and kind of enjoy BlizzCon, and it helped a lot. I really, I mean, I would enjoy BlizzCon anyway, but it's you're getting your head down in your phone, and like an hour later you come back up and you're like, whoa, I just missed everything. Sorry.
I you guys know I deleted my Facebook a while back, and I just deleted my Instagram account. Like, I mean, not just the app, but there's no account, nothing.
Oh wow. You're like the only person I was following. Guess not anymore.
Sorry.
Well, you were when you were overseas, you were posting some really cool pictures and stuff of your travels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see these or not, but check out the stickers I printed for putting on the back of the car.
Oh, it's a Mercy and a Widowmaker.
Right.
Sticker.
Is that Widowmaker then?
Yeah, it is.
I knew it was Mercy. That's cool, man.
Those are neat.
Squishy wanted to have something Overwatch related on the car, so when she's driving it.
That's sweet. And what's cool is it's subtle, so people will be like, "Oh, what's that?" and they won't know. But if you play Overwatch, you will know.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Like those people that ran marathons and they thought they were slick. Oh, I put 26.2 on my car, and only people who run marathons will know what that means.
I want the one that has 0.0.
I saw one the other day. It said like 9.1 or something, and then I got lost.
Nice.
Someone else had one that said it had some large number like 42.3, and below it says hours of Netflix I watched this week.
Nice.
Actually, that's what we should create. We got to put one that says 26.2, and then put it under it says hours of World of Warcraft I played this week.
Hours I've played on Bastion.
I want one that says 3.119 so. My favorite number.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have all our ducks in a row.
We're pretty close, yeah.
I think we're where we can get started if y'all are ready to get started.
I think I'm ready. Can you guys can hear me okay, right?
Yeah.
I hear you.
All right, I don't need to move my mic.
Now, I apologize in advance. I did actually, I think, get a little sick.
Got the con crud.
I think I did. Because
Con crud.
It's been I've been junky the last few days, but I wonder if it was from the smog.
Could be. My throat's a little sore. You know what? I was actually taking vitamin C prior to and during BlizzCon, so I think that may have helped a little bit.
Cool.
And I'm secretly a superhero. So yeah.
Well,
I think when I was over in Korea, I got sick so many times from those little kids that I'm immune to everything now.
You're immune to the con crud.
I can't get con crud.
Con crud immunity.
It was like a different convention every day with those kids.
Okay, well, here we go. I will kick us off if there's no music again. We'll work on that now that we're back from con, and we'll see if we can get that working here in the next few weeks. But in the meantime, are they still in there?
I think they're working.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Welcome to Legend of the Innkeeper. I'm Fastidious.
I can't stop bobbing my head to that amazing soundtrack. And I am Espo.
And I'm Rez.
Hey, who? What?
Rez, you know, the Espo's one friend.
I know, right? Oh, dude, it's I don't even know how to explain how hyper I am, how excited I am. Like, my eyes and my body are like, I need to go to sleep because I've been just running since I got home from this weekend. But like, I can't. Like, I couldn't wait for tonight so I could talk to you guys again.
Dude, you know, I think anybody who listens to the show and knows you at all is not surprised by your hyperactivity or excitedness. But that's why we love you.
How did you do it, Steve? How did you survive the weekend with Rez and I?
I had someone with me to help interfere. And that was two ladies who were able to distract and take care of you guys when I couldn't handle you anymore.
Whew.
But actually, it wasn't that at all.
It was so good to hang out with you guys, with you and Squishy and Harry Onwin. It was good to see you again.
Yeah, we had a great time. If you didn't know already, we all were able to go to BlizzCon and spend it together again, the opportunity, and we got to meet a lot of different people there too. So if we were able to meet you, it was awesome meeting you. If you didn't catch us somewhere, you should have. It was great. And if you weren't able to go, we did think about you a lot. We tried to tweet as much as we could throughout the event. But you got to follow us at LOTI Podcast or at XCMTV Gamer, and you can see everything we posted along the way. But let's get into it.
Stuff.
So first of all, I'm not going to ask what you did last week. I know what you did last week, but let's just quickly say, where are you gold-wise?
You want to hear the fruits of my labor. Okay.
And whether you purchase or not purchase or plan to purchase or whatever the expansions pre-purchase.
Well, we're obviously assuming that everybody knows that there's an expansion coming out soon. It was announced at BlizzCon, and they do.
I let it out. Sorry.
Yeah, you let it out.
Wait,
dude.
what? Spoilers?
They are offering a pre-purchase. I have not purchased yet. For Teacher Appreciation Week, I got a few gift cards for Walmart, and I used my own money to buy art supplies earlier on. So I went ahead and decided to put those aside till this expansion. And I'm going to go ahead and buy the Blizzard, I think Battle.net cards.
Awesome.
They're like $20 cards you can buy. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to go to Walmart and buy Blizzard gift cards with my Walmart gift cards.
Nice.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So I'm going to do that. And I will. So I've not purchased it yet. But I also, every expansion I try to get to 5,000 gold before the expansion drops so I can get 50 packs. And I am currently at 1,470 gold. But I also been working on my Golden Druid. I've not been slack. I'm at 463 wins.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, 37 away. I feel it this month. Golden Druid.
Very
Before
nice.
the expansion, then.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Rez?
So I did purchase the expansion, and all I have to say is that before I purchased the expansion, I was a millionaire in WoW, but no longer.
Oh,
Cashed in a bunch of gold
yeah.
for tokens.
Nice.
Turned that tokens into Blizzard money, and then sent Blizzard money to my Hearthstone account. It was all finagled, but now I'm poor in WoW, but rich in the future in Hearthstone.
Nice.
and let's see, I was buying packs up until the day of BlizzCon. Just because I kind of fell off the wagon with playing like last month quite a bit. But I wanted to get some packs and play with you guys some more. So I've been only saving since BlizzCon. I've got 355 gold right now. And as far as working on Golden Heroes goes, my closest one is my Paladin with 412 wins. So
Okay.
I could probably do that this month.
Wait. Pre-show, you had mentioned that you had a Golden Warrior, and then you said,
Yeah.
well, actually, I guess I could say that I'm working on another.
Well, that's true. I crafted Whizbang because Whizbang is wonderful, as we all know.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's like my most favorite thing to play now. So I just love having the chance to test drive all the decks. That I don't have all the cards to them. So that's actually saved me a lot of money. And I mean, every once in a while I get the feeling, oh man, I need this card in order to make that deck. Well, maybe if I play a few Whizbang games, I'll actually get to play it. And sometimes it happens.
Well, funny is I played 2 matches today with Whizbang.
Nice.
One of
Did you
them
win?
was Warrior.
Cool.
No, I lost both of them.
Yeah.
But man, that Warrior deck that I was playing, big time in bringing out the taunts, and you get what's his name that doubles your healing ability, and so I'm doing shields like crazy, and it's just nuts.
Right. That's Prophet Velen, right?
No, the guy who
Prophet Velen doubles your healing.
No, the one that get at the beginning if you have it's the odd.
Oh.
What's his face?
Baku?
Yeah, Baku.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have Baku and it gives you, every time you hit your
I think,
shields, it's
I don't
4
think
shields.
he meant heals. He meant
Shields.
armor.
Armor,
The hero.
yeah.
Oh, armor. Okay.
Shields.
Not healing.
I said shields.
It's still 2, and so it's like a heal, right? You
It is.
kind of, yeah. Except it's actually better than a heal in my opinion for your hero,
right? 'Cause
you can go above 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting at 1,280 gold. With I don't want to mention, you mentioned about dust earlier. I've got just over 10,000 dust saved up.
I don't even understand.
Oh, that's a lot of dust.
And 381 mage wins, which is the exact same number I had before BlizzCon, because I haven't won with mage because I've been playing other things like Whizbang. And I have not pre-purchased, but I will tomorrow. So that will be mine tomorrow.
Nice.
Okay, so there's so much.
Yeah, how do we go about this? Like I'm really excited to talk about the cards, but obviously there's news. So maybe just quickly through the news and quickly through a few just to get to the cards.
Okay. Well, first of all, there's a lot of prep to get to the news part of it, but let's just real quickly say there was a new expansion announced. It was at BlizzCon. We'll tell you about that in a few minutes, what the expansion was. Lots of different things happened at BlizzCon. It's really cool. It was cool. Okay. Now, news this week. They did announce that there is going to be they did this a couple expansions ago, pre-release parties. And what they did is you could go to a fireside gathering near you, and you were allowed to open your packs at the party. Actually, it was last expansion. And you get to open all your packs if you want to. Everything you pre-purchased, everything you had ready to saved up. And they had a special brawl that you could play there with people, and you play with those cards at the event. But when you went home, you wouldn't have access to those cards until it actually launched live. But it was a neat way to get people excited and have a time to get together and do this. One of the complaints was that there was only a few locations around the country that you could actually go to do this. You guys had one close by, right? I know there's one in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
I think Virginia and Tennessee were the closest to us.
yeah, so it was very limited. I think there were 17 locations. It was a small number. Well, they've changed it. This year, you can actually host a public release party if you want to, or attend one that's already happening in your area. And these are happening at many of the fireside gathering locations that are choosing to do this. You'll want to go to firesidegatherings.com to see if there are any in your area. However, they did add one other little note on this. You can even create an unlisted event for you and your friends.
That's cool.
Which is awesome. So this basically means that if you just want to host a party for you and your best 3 friends and your dog, you can do that. You have to register.
What about me and my 4 accounts?
Sure, absolutely, you can do that.
Wow, that's a great idea.
Now, the cool thing is that they're going to have 2 Fireside Brawls, part of this expansion, this event. And one of them is called Rastakan's No Cards Barred.
I'm sorry, Rakistan?
Rastakhan.
Were you
Chaka Khan.
Were you at BlizzCon this week?
Yeah, I know. Rastakhan.
There you go.
Rastakhan.
You played World of Warcraft lately? Oh, you play Alliance, that's why.
You know, Rakistan, that's right next to Rindia. They're mortal enemies.
Okay, so in Rakistan's... now you got me saying Okay.
Wow.
Rastakhan's No Cards Brawled, you'll be able to construct decks using the cards you opened during the pre-release event. There are no restrictions on class. Duplicates are in this one at all, so you can harness all the craziness. And then the other one is called a Royal Recipe, where they're pre-constructed brawl, where you have new deck recipes from the upcoming set for you to play with, and you don't need to have purchased any cards to actually play part of that one. So they're giving you opportunities no matter where you're at in the situation of purchasing cards. So it's very cool that you can do that. So if you want to host a party, you can do so. You go to, again, firesidegathering.com, where you're able to do that. And once your event's approved, you can share it on social media. You can reach out to the community and invite people to come. You can also pre-purchase cards so you can have that experience. And they said also make sure you have enough chairs by the hearth. So,
Hey, you know what I might do?
what?
I have probably a half a dozen people that live in this area and I work with.
I bet there's a
may
little
get-
bit more than that live in that area, but
No, I mean that I know, that I actually
okay.
that I hang out with and play Hearthstone with. I may go ahead and host one here on the farm.
there you go.
Man, that would be fun.
And I may. What if I stream it?
You'll have to have internet.
Dude,
And not tin cans. I mean,
dude, do you remember 2 years ago I didn't
I
have
know.
internet? Now I have internet.
that's right. You
We
can do
have
that.
Internet.
Internet is a good thing. It lets us do fun stuff like this.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay, the other bit of news is Blizzard also announced that they have hit the 100 millionth players numbers.
Amazing.
Isn't that crazy? That's a lot of people.
That's outstanding.
So they're having a little celebration. So you can log in and you get 6 free Boomsday packs. And then they also have these 5 quests that are available. And it's really cool, these quests. You play with friends, and every time you play the quest and complete the quest, you get 100 gold. And you can do it up to 5 times for a total of 500 gold. Basically,
yeah.
that's 5 free packs.
That's
Yes.
amazing. Very generous.
Yes.
Yeah, really cool.
So be sure to log in and do that.
What is funny about this though? Right before we saw this in the news, Rez and I were talking to a analyst, and I asked him. I said, "Yeah," I said during the con before the storm, which, by the way, if you get our feed from Legend of the Innkeeper on your podcast machine, you probably already listened to the con before the storm Hearthstone panel. I think it should have came across your podcast stream.
Mhm.
And we talked about how, or at least I talked about how it seems like this past year we got a lot of free stuff, like a lot of free stuff. So Resin actually met with a person on the Hearthstone analytics team, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, I do have a question for you. What can you say as far as the numbers with free stuff in the past year as opposed to years in the past?" And he said to us, he said, "I cannot confirm or deny that we've given more free stuff in this past year than we have in the past."
And he said, you can do your own estimations and come up
Yeah.
with your own conclusions.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And I was with you, not Rez.
Oh, yeah. I can't, dude. We were all over the place, so I can't remember who my friend was. I was just dragging people all over the place. I was like, let's go here. Let's go here. So yeah, it was really, really neat. We got to meet with a few people and talk to them about some stuff about the Hearthstone. And
Yeah, that was actually really good because he he's an analytics guy. He does the numbers and does math, and yet he asked us the questions of, what do you hear from your community? What is it that are things that have gone well, basically? And he meant it. He wanted to know, how can we make this game better? And what can I take from this as a way to go back to our team and go, hey, we can work on these things and make this better, or we're doing the right thing, or whatever the input is. And it wasn't a casual question thrown out just saying, hey, what do you think about the new expansion? It was more, how can we do this? And he was asking the right questions.
Right. So, I was actually there when he asked that question of us. And Espo, you turned to me and said, well, Rez, what are people saying?
Mm-hmm.
What's the major complaint? And I said, new player experience and the amount of time it takes. And then you just went off from there.
I got on my soapbox.
Yes, you got on your soapbox.
I let Rez, I was like, Rez, hand me the baton. Just
that was it.
It was really funny when he took Rez, he spun Rez around, pulled out his backpack and reached in and pulled this soapbox out of the bag and set it down.
Landed it down on the ground.
It said, since you asked.
That's Espo's secret superpower. You flip Espo for 2 mana and pull out his soapbox.
That's right. I like how Rez refers to the WoW TCG. He's like, you pay 2 mana, flip your hero, and a soapbox comes out. We did play. I brought my WoW TCG cards and playmats, and Rez and I got to play. Dude, we played for like 2-3 hours.
It was fun.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Okay, so let's actually take a moment and talk a little bit over BlizzCon real quick. I say real quick. This won't go quick. So, first day, you guys were there ahead of us. Anything you want to just mention real quickly about the first day before we got there? Any cool things? You played TCG. We saw Zeroshio there. You guys were there. Yes.
Yeah, we met up with Zeroshio and his wife. That was really cool to meet him. We'll talk about that more later. Espo and I got to play a little bit of Diablo on the Switch. They had a demo station set up. So we did that first, actually, since you had seats saved for us. We were like, our seats are up front, and Steve's got them. So let's go play Espo.
Little did they know I was standing on the chair looking for them, going, where are they?
We knew you were looking. But
where are they? Because I'm holding these seats and these people were getting angry at me.
We were just hanging out, taking pictures, signing autographs.
It was awesome.
Well, on the way there, we on our airplane we had a guy we met in line that was coming. He was coming from New Jersey. I don't remember his name, and we talked with him about all our speculations, all that stuff, and then we flew there and everything. And then on our shuttle, we had about 3 or 4 groups of people coming to BlizzCon. There are all kinds of different people. The most interesting thing I found in those conversations is that every single one of the people I talked to and asked, what are you looking most forward to? They were looking forward to WoW Classic. Mm-hmm. And that was the big thing they wanted to see, which is really interesting considering how many people we've talked to all the time. And a majority of the conversations were about WoW Classic. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Okay, day 2, which is day 1 of Blizz. Actually, let's go back to Calm Before the Storm, World of Podcasts.
Right.
Awesome event.
So we get there, and it's Thursday, right? And we're getting ready. It's Calm Before the Storm. I get nervous. I don't normally get nervous. Like, I don't know what came over me. I just started getting nervous. So I had rented a car, and we're driving to the Hilton where they were having Calm Before the Storm, and I'm like, oh man, this is starting to set in that I'm actually going to be speaking about, in front of people live, right, with other people that know as much or more about the game than I do, and they are more experienced than me at talking about the game. Oh my goodness. So luckily we get there, and I run into Andrew, from the Happy Hearthstone, and I run into Sean, who also goes by Bites, and he's the innkeeper. He dresses up like the innkeeper at Blizzard events.
Right.
We run into Major Death and
Adam.
just Adam and a guy named Michael and a bunch of other, Hearthstone people at the Fireside Gathering that Con Before the Storm had. And that made me feel really good. It made me feel comfortable. And I met a few other people and played some Hearthstone with them, sat down and actually chilled out a little bit. And that was really, really cool. And just shout out to all my co-hosts on that panel, because I was honestly more nervous about us stepping on each other's toes and being comfortable to talk, with those other people about Hearthstone. There was 8 of us on the panel, and we only had an hour. So
we had Chris Chan hosting it from Value Town. Espo, of course, was on there from our show. Adam from Around the Hearth. Storm Rage from Blizzlet. Ridiculous Hat from Coin Concede. Andrew Brown from the Happy Hearthstone. Kevin Ellis from Hearth Casual. And Garrett Weinsworld from the Angry Chicken were on the panel. And if you want to listen to that whole panel, it's on our stream now. You can go listen to it. It's called Special Con Before the Storm Hearthstone panel, and it's got the whole piece there. So
yeah, it was once we started going and huge. I know these other guys, amazing guys. Like, I look up to every one of them, and just that they're amazing at what they do. Podcasting, Ariana put it best. You just push a button, record, and that's it.
That's all you do.
No, it's it's there's a lot that goes on. I play the game a lot, so it's not that difficult for me to talk about it, and I'm very passionate about it. But when people are throwing questions at you that you weren't really prepared for, it's not that easy. And these guys were amazing that I was co-hosting this with. But huge shout out to Chris Chan. Chris Chan was our moderator. He got the show notes ready, and we had topics, and he led everything and just did such an amazing job. And because of him and because of it went so smooth. We all got perfect amount of mic time. Everybody got to speak on topics that they wanted to speak about, and I'm mainly talking about myself because there are a few things that I definitely speak on, and I got to, and it seemed like everyone else did too. And I talked to a few of the other co-hosts, and they said, they felt the same way. They felt like they got to say what they wanted. No one, I don't think, left the panel saying, "Oh man, I wish I would have said this." I felt like it went super smooth. And if you guys have a chance to listen to it, please do. These guys are amazing. They definitely knew what they were talking about, and it really felt good to be on a panel with all these guys, and it was super fun. And luckily, honestly, for me, I
think it went better than the previous one that we all did 2 years ago.
Yeah, I definitely think it did.
And you have more people. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, what was cool?
I definitely suggest. Let me just say, I definitely suggest everybody go listen to it. If you're into Hearthstone, you need to hear it, because there were some really cool, insightful things, and a lot of these guys are just so smart and quick and thoughtful and funny, with the things that they say. So, all the guys who hosted it up there were just amazing. So go listen to it.
I would say, I listened to a few panels, and they did amazing. Like, they did a really good job. But I felt like our panel was just, everything was so on point, and the discussions were perfect. And like I said, I feel like everybody left that panel that was hosting, everybody left the panel thinking, I said what I needed to say. No one, I don't think anybody felt like, oh man, I should have said this. And shout out to my co-hosts and my friends that were in the front row. You guys are awesome. Rez had his GoPro going. I kept looking at Vastidius' shirt. It said Legend of the Innkeeper, and kind of reminded me of who I was. And, we had Squishy Dragon and Arianwin, and I saw my man Zeroshio there, and it was just really, really cool, and then obviously we had I think it was 2 rooms full of people.
Yeah.
It it was really neat, and it was a cool experience. I had done it before, but I felt like this time was better, and I don't know if it was just last time was such a blur because it was my first BlizzCon. It was my first time doing anything like that live. I don't know if it just felt better this time.
Yeah.
So, and again, huge shout out to Chan Man, and huge shout out to you guys, Rez, Vestidius. You guys, such great supporters. You guys are amazing, and you always make me feel like I'm doing it right when I definitely don't feel like I do it right. But for some reason, you guys convinced me that I did it right.
Well,
so
put it this way.
I almost believe you.
Put it this way. You've led the charge successfully twice now. There is no other way you're getting out of it. So you've done a fantastic job. So,
well, I do a fantastic job because of you guys and because of a lot of our listeners. I get so much support from all of you, and I appreciate it. Like, my enthusiasm is because of you guys. So, but especially Vestidius, Rez, you guys.
Considering these events are not put on by Blizzard specifically, they're put on by the listeners, by people who are like us, community members that want to talk about what we want, our games that we love. So there's panels for World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch. I mean, they cover the gamut, and go listen to all of them if you get a chance.
Yes, please do. And you know what? I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Surface and Roe and the rest of the staff that actually puts the World of Podcasts and Con Before the Storm off. And also a huge shout out to Medieval Times for sponsoring.
Yes.
So I got to say that. So Surface, Roe, you guys are amazing. I know there's like probably a dozen other people that it takes to put this on, but you guys were spot on. Everything was great. I felt super comfortable. I knew exactly what to do, and it was because of you guys. So great show, and thanks to Medieval Times for sponsoring everything and allowing us to get that space to do it.
Right.
So,
Okay.
But,
so now next day.
Yeah, that was day one.
That wasn't day one. That was day zero.
Day
That
zero.
was day zero.
That was day zero. Okay, day one. We'll keep it brief, but BlizzCon.
Okay, yeah. Don't let me talk then.
Okay. We get in the doors, we get in their seats, and we had amazing, the whole rush to get in to get your seats first is always a blur for me, because it's like, okay, I got to make a mad dash, get in the door. And this year, I think they did this last year too, is they let people in waves. They let in a large batch to fill in the foyer area. They close the doors, let people settle in, and then they open the inner doors, let them go in and get their seats, and they keep doing this in waves. So they finally opened the big doors, and we're all rushing in, trying to get in, and there's just lights everywhere, and I want to look at everything, but you got to get your seats first. So there's that big focus of getting the seats. But we're running in, there's this big area over to the left as you're running in that's mysterious. It's got tables with boxes on it, and it's just kind of interesting. It's like no signage, no nothing. You're like, oh, something new is going to happen here. So we'll talk about what that is in a bit. But we get our seats. Eventually, Espo finds his way with Rez to get to the seats. We all get settled in. We watch the event. Not going really much into detail on the event because they can go do that if they want to. But they can go watch it later. But overall, your thoughts on the whole presentation? We've done this once before. We've watched it virtually many times. What were your thoughts on how the presentation went? Let's just compare it to the year we went before.
There is none.
Wasn't it different? Wasn't it a lot different?
And I'll make this brief. I will make it super brief. We were jaded. Like, we were spoiled.
Yeah.
We went, it was BlizzCon 10. It was the 10th BlizzCon, the 10th anniversary of BlizzCon. That was our first one. And it was obviously, it was our first one. So that's always more exciting. And Overwatch was coming out with a new hero. There was actually a countdown before BlizzCon, and the new hero hacked the entirety of the opening program. The BlizzCon opens with an act on one stage. Well, it used to on one stage. The Overwatch hero they were debuting hacked all of BlizzCon. Every monitor, every television, the main stage, the lights, everything. they even had actors, well, they were actually Blizzard employees, running around looking like they were trying to fix BlizzCon because the Overwatch hero hacked it.
Yeah.
So for us to go through that, and you guys know it was Moira. And,
No, Sonya.
Sombra. There we go. Sorry, I don't play. It was Bastion. Sebastian. So when Reinhardt did that, it was. But so Sombra comes out. She's like hacking BlizzCon. Mike Morheim's like, "What is going on?" I don't know stage at the time, but it was epic and it was amazing. Cold chills, tears, like hairs on the back of my neck were standing up. Like even now, I'm excited about it.
Right.
And fast forward to our day one and the opening ceremonies. And number one, they started 25 minutes. There wasn't much of a buildup. We had heard some news about Diablo 4 not being talked about. We already had the Hearthstone expansion spoiled, so we knew what it was already. We knew that WoW Classic was coming out. We knew the World of Warcraft expansion was just going to get a patch. We didn't know exactly what was going to be in it, a new raid. Heroes of the Storm, heroes, like we knew everything. So it wasn't that exciting, but it still was BlizzCon.
Right. And I think I agree with that assessment because it was a point of there, kind of like a lot of people said, it was an off year. We didn't have a major expansion announced for World of Warcraft. You didn't have a major map and a bunch of additional things for Overwatch. You had an expansion for Hearthstone, obviously, but we've come to expect that every 3 months now, and it's not that big of an event anymore. There wasn't a new StarCraft announcement or Heroes of the Storm characters. It was kind of chill a little bit.
Well, there was a new Heroes of the Storm.
There was one. Yeah, but I'm just saying it wasn't like it was that year. They had Ragnaros and Genji, was it? And that was insane. I mean, it was Hanzo, I think maybe. But that year seemed to be, but I, like you said, it had to have been also partially that it was our first one ever, and we were big-eyed like kids, first time ever in the candy factory, just going, this is awesome.
How about you, Rez?
Yeah, I feel kind of the same way as you guys. The one thing I think that surprised me the most, I don't know if many people saw it coming, was the Warcraft 3 remaster.
Right.
So I played.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
And I'll play that again. I'll go back.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a big surprise.
But let's see. There was the Diablo thing. I mean, our listeners can go elsewhere to find out about the fiasco that happened with that. I mean, I think I was kind of hoping for like maybe a D2 remaster or some kind of addition to Diablo 3. But for new Diablo stuff that I'm interested in, at least, probably going to have to wait another couple years. No big deal. I'm not sad about it or anything like that. We still play Diablo 3, once in a while.
Yeah, we played last night.
Yes.
And let's see, the Heroes of the Storm new character looks amazing.
Yeah, but here's the crazy thing is we're getting it for free already.
Getting it for free, yes.
It's like,
and she's a character from the Heroes of the Storm universe, right?
That's
this
awesome.
is the first character that they've had.
Straight from the Nexus.
She's a playable character from the Nexus. And then we got the new Overwatch hero, Ashe, and her superpower sidekick,
Bob.
Yeah,
Bob, do something.
such a great line, And we got the player when we all played Overwatch together, which was super cool. And you can play her on the PTR right now. But the thing that I think probably that I did get those chills down my spine and like almost the tearing up in that first opening video that they played.
Yes.
They had a montage of all of these really emotional, exciting moments from all the Blizzard games, like one after another, and it was just like really loud, the soaring music, and it was just flashing through these scenes. It's like, I remember that was awesome. I remember that was awesome. Oh my God, we're here at BlizzCon. It really raised the hype level, and they did a super job with that opening scene there.
Oh yeah.
But
one thing I want to share too is that as part of the pack that you get coming to the event, and also you could order one too, the goodie bag. You get a coffee table book of BlizzCon, the community, and I didn't get a chance to look through it while we were there. I actually took it with me to work yesterday and just flipped through it on my lunch break, just kind of and read through it and went through it page by page. And it reminded me of so many of those moments and other things. And I don't know if you've gone through it yet, but there's the one that talks about the BlizzCon announcement of Overwatch. It reminded me of the opening video that they played to announce it in the first place. And I looked it up on YouTube, watched it right after that. And that was amazing. Again, I got chills. It was so much fun to watch that for the first time. It felt like that book was great. It was actually really fun to go through that and relive it and see the things that have happened over the years. So I thanked them for that book because it was kind of fun to go down the memory lane along the way. So
yeah.
Okay, the other thing I will say about the Hearthstone announcement was really weird this year. Usually in the Hearthstone announcement, they say, hey, we got a new expansion. Here's the new expansion. Here's how many new cards there's going to be. Here's the theme. Here's the cool things. Maybe a new keyword, whatever it's going to be.
Well, they showed the trailer first.
Yeah, they showed the trailer first, of course.
Yeah.
But every year before, they would also tell you about the new boards, all the new features, the single-player experience, if there is one. They'll tell you everything you need to know in that opening intro. No, not this year. They gave you the video. They said there's new cards. Here's a few ideas, and we'll tell you more later. Come back later. It's like, what? Okay. That's kind of brief.
Well, there's a reason.
So then they go in, when you go to the second event, the What's Next event, they told you all about the expansion, all the details, showed you more cards, gave you a bunch of stuff, and then said, tomorrow we're going to talk about single-player experience, the history and the future. It's like, oh, okay. So you go to another panel where they tell you all about the single-player experience, which was really good. All of those things too, but we didn't know everything about it until we got through all three of those events, whereas before, we knew everything we needed to know right from the very beginning. So I thought that was just a different, unique way of doing things.
Yeah, so it probably wouldn't be right if I didn't. I don't know. I thought about not talking about it, but I guess I have to now because I brought it up. So this year, BlizzCon decided they were going to multi-stream the opening ceremonies from different stages.
Well, they did that last year.
So okay.
We just didn't know because we were on virtual tickets.
Gotcha. So we were at the Mythic stage, which is what they consider the main stage. So that's where you see Mike Morhaime passing the torch over to Brack. And then they go into each IP talking about, hey, this is what you're getting for this. This is what you're getting for this. This is what you're getting for this, But when they would go to that certain IP, they would actually live stream on the main stage from that arena because they had different rooms and different stages for each of those IPs. And when I say IP, I'm talking about the games, right? So they go ahead and they go, okay, we're gonna talk about Diablo, right? So hey guys, welcome to BlizzCon, blah blah. Mike Morhaime comes out, hands it over to Jalen Brack, and they go ahead and move over to talking about Diablo. Well, it was on the main stage, the Diablo talk. Okay, hey guys, we're gonna do this thing for Diablo. It's gonna be Diablo Immortal,
a mobile game.
Yeah, mobile game, and which I called. I told you guys it was going to be a mobile game. I was joking about it being like Candy Crush, but I was serious. It was going to be a mobile game.
Quick injection. I was skeptical, uncertain. There was a lot of different reactions, but I did play it on the floor, and it feels like Diablo somewhat. So I'm kind of interested in it. But the thing is, though, my only complaint is that I don't really like games where you have key controls on the screen. Because my thumbs miss them. I'm old. I have a hard time playing those things, but
yeah,
that's my only complaint about it is that I would like to have it more on a PC. I mean, there's some things in that I really would like to see them bring to the PC version. So, anyways, I just want to mention.
Well, when it came time for them to switch to the Hearthstone stage, the Hearthstone stage is now a tavern. which is really cool. If you guys saw us 2 years ago, you saw Rez and I in the Tavern Championships, which I will forever talk about because it's so awesome and it was such a great experience. So they switched to the Overwatch stage. Well, where we were on the Mythic stage, we saw the screen and we saw Thompson. What's his first name? Lead designer on Hearthstone. Wow,
Ben.
You guys don't know either.
Ben
Thompson. So Ben Thompson's on there, and he's speaking, and we can see him, but we can't hear him.
Esmo was freaking out.
Well, I wasn't the only one.
No,
I wasn't. I was tripping. I was ready to like rush the stage. I was so upset because Hearthstone already is like, you know, obviously not the redheaded stepchild because, you know, StarCraft what? Because I don't think they've talked about StarCraft in forever at BlizzCon. But you know, it was like, wow, okay, we can't hear anything. And I was, you know, as my frustration rose, you know, they were figuring out things in the background. And all of a sudden we see
Overwatch.
Kaplan. We see Kaplan talking about Overwatch on the screen. And he's going right into the Overwatch, what's next? And I'm like,
well, funny thing is
Hearthstone...
I hear in that moment of silence, this is the only thing I really wanted to know about coming from your end of the aisle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, you know. So I'm extremely disappointed. So I tweet out, you know, I'm like, wow, I guess they don't care about Hearthstone. They're going to go straight to Overwatch. Well, little did I know, and I found this later on, that there were obviously sound issues, but while I was complaining about Overwatch, the lead, you know, on Hearthstone was literally sprinting from the Hearthstone Tavern up to the Mythic stage, which, what would you guys say, a half mile?
Probably.
Yeah.
That place is gigantic. It's
Yeah.
so big.
And it's not, and the thing is, it's not a straight shot. It's
No.
down an escalator or stairs, 3 floors.
Yeah, it's all the way, and you know, he's having to run backstage too. So it's not like he can take the straight shot. He has to go incognito, running from, and he had to go through the other stages, backstages. Oh my goodness! So he makes it to the main stage, and they finally cut to him. You know, we're seeing him live. He's now in front of us, and finally, he talks about Hearthstone, and it was awesome. And I was so excited, even though it was spoiled that day, that morning, we still were stoked. The hype train was full blast and it was awesome. And day one, BlizzCon, just amazing. From that point on, we just, you know, we went and played Hearthstone and had some good times. And like Vastidius said, day two had more panels, and Rez and I and Vastidius had front row seats into the past, present, and future of solo content with I think it was Peter Whalen and oh, interesting.
It was what's his name? Oh, good night. Peter Whalen did the what's next? It was the other guy, the one who did the video in the labs.
Oh, why can't I remember names right?
My name is, I don't ever remember names. So.
I can remember names of all the people I've met that played Hearthstone, but the people that work on the game, no.
I'll tell you in one.
Dave Kozak.
Dave Kozak, yes.
Yes, Dave Kozak. So, but we had front row seats in the tavern at a picnic table. Super cool. And you know, it was really, really cool. You know, but we learned a lot, had a lot of fun.
The other thing I do want to mention is they had a big emphasis on art this year, and had all day on Saturday was a bunch of art sessions, and it was a lot of fun because Squishy Dragon went. She's one of my 2 artists in the family, and she was like, "I am going there. I'm gonna spend all day there if I can." And she dove down in there and went to 3 of the events, and absolutely had a blast with it. It was so much fun because she was able to take what they were teaching her, learn what they were showing, and on how to draw a character in each of the IPs, and then create her own version of it down there at the corner, and so she's having fun doing it. So if you check out her Twitter, you'll see where she posted a picture she drew on that. It's at Squishy Dragon on Twitter. But that was fun. It was great to have that option because it really gave her something to look forward to and enjoy as an artist. Okay, so anyways, if you want more BlizzCon, we'll probably talk about it later, I'm sure, as we interject it with all the other things we're going to talk about. But let's go on to actually talk about the expansion, because we're going to run out of time if we don't hurry and do that. So new expansion, 135 new cards. It's called Rastakhan's Rumble. And it launches on December 4th. And there is a new keyword. A new keyword is called Overkill. If you deal more damage than you need to kill a minion, you will get a bonus. And that bonus is whatever comes out after the word Overkill. There's also spirits that are a type of minion that each class has, and they get to stay stealthed for one turn. And we'll be seeing the spirits coming out as we talk about different new cards and such. So each one of those has some special ability with them, and we'll mention those as we go through those. And then there's going to be freebies, including a legendary Loa class card, and 2 spirits for your Loa's class, and 6 card packs. So that's what you can expect when you get when it launches. And then on the new player experience, it's called Rumble Run. This will actually release on December 13th, which is 9 days after the expansion launches. This is to give us time to play with the existing cards, to play with the new things, to kind of not distract away from the expansion itself. But then when Rumble Run comes out, it gives us something else to work on. And part of that is they have what's called shrines. And these are passives. They sit on the board by giving you a special effect. And they can be destroyed, but then they will respawn after 3 turns. And we got to play with this on the floor in the demo area. And it's really, really cool. And these effects that they give you...
super overpowered.
Yeah, way overpowered.
They're fun.
So like other solo content that's already added to Hearthstone, the successful wins will let you add more cards to your run's deck. So you're kind of going through the same type of process. It's behind a whole idea of a champion troll running through a battle, a rumble is what they call it. In this troll you're playing is called Rakar, and he evolves over the run. He gets more and more powerful, and he doesn't actually focus on a specific team. You get to choose what team he's going to be a part of. And the whole idea is that these fights are overpowered, and you just have to go fight against 8 other opponents. And these are all the other teams from the team that you chose. So there's 9 total teams. You choose a team, and then you play against all the other teams. Each team has 3 different shrines, 3 champions, so it mixes it up all the time. So it's always something new every time you do this. That's the cool thing, because that means you're going to have over 27 different opponents you're going to have to fight against.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, you get to pick prize fighters when you successfully clear the runs, and then you pick your own teammates, and you get to play as the champions in a series of tavern brawls.
Yeah, so when we played a version of this tavern brawl, so they allowed us to play the tavern brawl with a few of these shrines and a few of the cards. I got some pictures.
Yes, I did too.
And I can't show them because I was asked not to take pictures. So, but I can say that I remember what the cards said. Mm-hmm. Let me dive into my memory. One of the shrines that was there for Warlock, and Rez actually destroyed me with this thing. So it's a 0/8 shrine, and it says whenever your hero takes damage on your turn, the enemy hero takes it instead.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in other words, your hero power as a Warlock damages the other person.
Right.
So Rez was
that they gave you with that deck that you played against whatever opponent you're sitting across from had to do something with damaging yourself, like any good Warlock does. Like one of the cards was like, when you play this, deal 5 damage to yourself. Well, if your shrine is active, what does that say? There was something on the bottom of your mug there. I kind of missed it. Anyhow, if your shrine is active, then your opponent takes that 5 damage instead. So, and you can just keep on doing it. There was one that would anytime you play a minion that damages you, double that damage instead. So if you play that 5 damage card, your opponent would get 10 damage, and then it's over. So it felt like the objective of this Tyrant Brawl was to keep your opponent's shrine dead as long as possible, because it would respawn every 3 turns after you
There you go. Yeah. So you could destroy these. And when I was playing that match, I was actually Akali, the warrior champion, and his shrine was a 0/8 also, and it was this minion's attack is always equal to your armor. Dude, I got up to like 35 at one point.
Oh yeah.
But then Rez would put it into like a hibernation mode. He would destroy it, and I'd have to wait 3 turns, and by then my armor would have gone down. But it's just so cool. The solo single player content for Rastakhan's Rumble is going to be epic. It's going to be overpowerful, and it's going to be fun. So get ready to rumble. But I know we got to move on. I want to talk about that. But those are cards. Now, those 2 cards that I just talked about, those are not in the collectible game. Those are only in the solo player content. You'll see those, and I have many more. If you'd like to talk to me about those, just tweet at me, and I will. I'll let you know how that went, because it was awesome. Real quick, before we go into talking about the cards that we have seen and we're allowed to talk about, I do want to say this. Ariana reminded me that if you are a new player or you're an old player coming back to the game and you get a quest that says something to the effect of, destroy 3 dungeon run, bosses, or kill 3 monsters in Witch Hunt?
Monster Run.
Monster Hunt. You may be like, how do I access this stuff? Well, you can either tweet at Arianwin and tell her happy birthday and ask her how to do it, or you can listen to our podcast, and I'll tell you real quick. From the main UI menu, you're going to go into solo player content or something of that sort, and then you will actually go under either the Witchwood, or Kobolds and Catacombs, or maybe future stuff if you have quests for it. You need to figure out what expansion that quest corresponds with, and you can actually go into that expansion and you can play that monster hunt or that dungeon run and complete those quests. And I'm really glad Ariana brought that up. She was a host of the show with Vastidius and I forever, and she knew we had these hints and tips going on. She was like, Espo, you got to do this one on the next show, because it took me forever to figure this out. So there you go, guys. That's your hints and tips for this week, straight from Ariana.
Yeah, she got the quest while we were there and couldn't figure out how to go complete the quest. And she's asking me, I'm like, oh, it's under solo. Well, she was, why don't they say that? How do I find this out? Espo. So, yeah, that was what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. I do want to say real quick, since we're talking about free stuff and all that they're giving away, while we were at BlizzCon, Blizzard gave a pack out for BlizzCon as a cool thing. And we were having breakfast at the hotel, and Espo calls me over. Says,
oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh.
He's like, Vastidius, come here. Come stand next to me as I open my packs, because you're lucky, and you'll help me get a legendary. So, yeah, I stood next to him, and you opened what? Let me guess. It was 40 dust, right?
It was about that,
Yeah. So I opened my pack, and the very first card I opened was a legendary. And I'm like, dude, yes, look, a legendary. Check this out. Oh, wait. Oh, my second card is an epic. So the first legendary, it was a, what was it? It was Boommaster Flark. I was like, dude, that's cool. And then Dream Petal Florist, great. And then I scrolled even further over, and I had another legendary. I had 2 legendaries and an epic in a single pack. And it was Flabidinous Floop.
What in the world? I couldn't believe it. And he's standing basically over my shoulder because I told him to come over to give me good luck when I open up my pack. And his phone is like right in my face, and he's flipping through like, and I can see like the shiny gold border around it, and I'm like, this is a joke. Like this is some kind of cruel joke. And
I
then
saw
he
the
keeps
golden
going.
light shining off of your face as he was doing that, and Innkeeper was screaming at you, "Oh, legendary!"
I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then he flips epic. Then he flips, I think just a
Two
card.
regulars.
And yeah, and then it was like another legendary. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then I threw up my breakfast.
The problem was then I went to go try to take a screenshot and I missed the buttons because I'm on a new phone because you have to push volume up and power to do the screenshot. And I bumped the power instead and it went on past it. And everybody's like, screenshots. I'm like, I don't have them.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So we did also get our 6-packs, and I don't know if you mentioned this or not, but I opened one legendary with those 6-packs that we got just the other day.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. And I got Zarek Master Cloner. So I have 3 legendaries in the last 4 days. So anyways, not bragging. I'm just like surprised. You know I shouldn't be surprised.
You're surprised?
I shouldn't be. Yeah,
Like
I'm
this
lucky.
never happens.
Yeah.
Like I told my family when we were talking about it on the way, when we got back from the airport at home, I never win the important things. You know, I don't win the Lexus that I entered or drawing for, or the HGTV house or anything like that. I win cards that don't exist. I win. I do have to say I have won a car in my past, but it was the opportunity to buy a car for $5, and I bought. It was a 1974 Toyota Corolla, and I broke down on the way home.
A Ford Toyota Corolla?
I'm sorry,
they really messed you. They got you there. They got
A
you.
Toyota Corolla, but it was a piece of junk. It was like you had 4 cars to choose from, and you paid tax and title, and that was it. And it was $5 for the car. So yeah, I drove it home, and it broke down on the way home, and it was a piece of junk. But I won something, yeah, right? You know,
Good.
it's like, why can't I win something good?
Yeah, right?
So, okay, new cards. Let's talk about new cards. And first of all, we do have the Rastakhan's Rumble. Get ready. And there is a new board, by the way. They did have that at the event. You got to click around on a bunch of stuff. And there's lots of clickies, so be prepared to click on a bunch more things. Okay, first card. This is one of the first cards they showed us. It was Shivala the Tiger, a 25 mana, 7/5 beast with Divine Shield, Rush, Lifesteal, costs 1 less for each mana you've spent on spells, and it is a Paladin legendary.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting because they actually count up the amount of mana you're spending on spells.
Right.
And I think this might be the first time we've seen a card discounted based on the amount of mana you spend.
It is.
Now, before
Yes.
we've seen, okay, on the amount, we've seen like, okay, how many spells have you cast? Then this is discounted. No, this is the amount of mana. So you cast a 10 mana spell, this immediately goes down to 15 mana. So this could be discounted really quick. Obviously, with Paladin, you have the secrets that are 1 mana. You could throw a bunch of those out. But yeah, this is neat.
Mm-hmm.
This is really neat.
And I think what makes this work the best with it being a 25 mana spell is the fact that a lot of the Paladin spells are cheap. They're the 1 mana spells, 1, 2, 3, 4 manas. It's not like the Paladin has a bunch of 6 and 7 mana spells. Like, for example, if it was a Hunter with 2 mana secrets, it would add a lot quicker. That would probably have to make this cost a lot more. Maybe a 30 or 35 to kind of balance that. So,
So Paladin's getting a decent removal in the way of this as a body because it has Rush
and healing,
and Divine Shield, and then it's getting good healing, decent healing.
Yeah.
You get that 7 heal, 7 health heal. You get 7 attack with Divine Shield on a minion. Now, obviously, can't go face; it just has Rush. But with that Divine Shield, it makes it a little bit more beefy.
It stays on the board another turn.
I like this card.
Yep. Great art. I love the artwork.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Okay, next up we have a Spirit of the Shark. This is a rogue card. It's a 4-mana 0/3 minion. Stealth for 1 turn. Your minions' battle cries and combos trigger twice. And this is one of the spirits we talked about.
You know, I feel like these cards, there's just the two that we've seen, are gonna combo nicely with the quests from way back when. What do you guys think?
Okay. Well, yeah, because you have Rez, you know about the Paladin quest.
Right, I believe that's you have to cast so many spells on your minions, and then you'll summon a what was the name of the dinosaur? I can't remember. From Ungoro. But anyhow, you would get to adapt so many times after you summon him. And then the rogue, tell us about the rogue quest.
Yeah, so the rogue quest we've seen nerfed 3 times, I think. But yeah, it's interesting because a lot of your battle cries and combos have to do with shuffling minions into your deck, moving minions from your hand to the board, from your board to the hand. You can work this in to work very well with the quest, which is really neat. And I didn't think about that, Rez. That's actually interesting thought that both these cards kind of work well with the quests that came out with Ungoro. So pretty cool.
Okay, next up we have is the Sharkfin Fan. It's a 2-mana 2/2 pirate. After your hero attacks, summon a 1/1 pirate.
Yes. I like this. So there's a few cards coming out in Rogue. I don't know if you guys noticed the last card. It's a shark.
Yep.
Right. So Rogue's going to be. I think Rogue Pirate is coming back, and I think this will fit well in that.
Yeah, and each of the Loas, which has been mentioned a little bit in this, is it's spirit guide for their troll spirits in the Warcraft universe, and each of the classes has a Loa that is their what would you say? I guess guide for that class, and so each class has its own team that it's a part of, and the shark fins are one of those teams, the sharks. So that's what you'll see here, and we'll hear a lot more about Loa as we go through this. Next up is go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've always been a fan of the Pirates. Anyhow, I mean, besides the fact that they're my home baseball team, and it just
moving on. Okay, 6 mana weapon, 4/4 weapon, Sulth Rays, overkill. You may attack again.
I'll let Rez take this. He's our warrior guy.
Right?
Oh yeah. So overkill. Okay, there's the new keyword. If you do more damage than necessary to a minion when you hit it with this weapon, you get to attack again. Now, that means if your opponent has 7 1/1s on the board, you can just go through and smash all of them.
Nope.
You'll just keep on going.
Nope.
Well, you
only have
got
4
durability.
attacks. You still have.
That's
you
true.
still have.
Not
durability.
attack.
break your
It's
weapon.
durability.
Yeah,
Yeah,
still
durability.
And, I always forget about breaking things. I just go until things break, and I'm like, real surprised when it's broken. I thought I could do this forever. Next card.
Okay, next up we have is the Spirit of the Bat. This is a Warlock card, 2 mana 0/3 Spirit, and it doesn't say Spirit, but it's just one of the spirits. Stealth for 1 turn. After a friendly minion dies, give a minion in your hand +1/+1.
Yeah, this I'm liking these spirits. These spirits are really cool. I think they'll work well with current archetypes, but it almost says, hey, like with Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, you had a team of 3 heroes, and you kind of could build a deck based around those teams, correct? And I think they actually called them families. So you could build like, the Jade Shaman, Jade Rogue, or the hand buff Paladin, or the hand buff Hunter. So I think this is going to be really cool because, I'm all about the new player experience. I'm all about new players learning how to do things in the game. And I think these spirits may help new players build decks.
Yeah.
They may see these words and think, man, when a friendly minion dies, give a minion in your hand +1/+1. So maybe I could build my deck with maybe a few low health minions so they die easier. Or maybe they have death rattles. So I want them to die. And then minions in my hand get +1/+1. So I play a lot of low cost minions so I can buff them really easy. And it kind of helps that person that maybe doesn't know how to build decks or is a little apprehensive to kind of go more experimental,
Sure.
which I think is always a cool thing, getting people to build their own decks and not just go online and try to make what's popular. One of the things I really like about this game is the experimental, aspect of it. Throwing all these cards together in different combinations and experimenting with the fun stuff that can happen. So I think these cards, again, like Mean Streets, will kind of guide that person into building a certain deck archetype, a certain kind of deck, or, kind of help them out to experiment. And, this is really neat. I like what they're doing with these cards.
Well, you mentioned getting a lot of small minions on the board as a warlock. Well, our next card will help you with that. Next card is Hyreek the Bat. An 8-mana 1/1 beast with a battle cry. Fill your board with copies of this minion. Do you think that would be enough 1/1 minions on the board to help you with the previous card?
Well, let me tell you something. So you play the Spirit of the Bat, right? And you have Hyreek in your hand.
Yep.
So if you'll notice, it says copies of this minion.
Yep.
So while he's in your hand, Spirit of the Bat is giving him +1/+1 when a friendly minion dies. So you have your board filled with minions. They die with Spirit of the Bat on the board and Hyreek in your hand. Hyreek gets maybe 4/4, maybe 5/5. Well, guess what? When you play him on turn 8, or you play it on turn 8, you're getting copies of that minion. It's
Right.
not a 1/1 anymore. It's whatever you buffed it to. So this will be really interesting to see if hand buff warlock is a thing.
Right.
And we do have a few neutral cost cards that buff things in your hand. And we definitely have a few neutral cost cards and warlocks that die very easily.
Right.
So this will be a fun card to play. I always collect the Warlock legendaries. This guy, definitely.
Yes.
He will be in my collection right away. I have 1,800 dust right now. And, it may happen.
Okay. Well, next up we have is a Priest card. 3 mana, Surrender to Madness. Destroy 3 of your mana crystals. Give all the minions in your deck +2/+2. Hello.
Whoa.
This is
cool.
madness.
I think I played this res against you. You still smashed me.
I think you did. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're taking a risk getting rid of 3 of your mana crystals.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
if you play this early on, you've got to be hoping that you're not playing like a face hunter or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the crazy card, though, like you said, experimental cards, this is one of those experimental cards.
Yeah.
So you can play with it and get some ideas around it. So,
Yeah.
okay, next up is the Immortal Prelate. It's a 2 mana 1/3 minion, Death Rattle. Shuffle this into your deck. It keeps any enchantments. And this is a Paladin card. They have a lot of enchantments.
Well, Rez was talking about this earlier. Why don't you take her?
Right. This is kind of similar to, I can't remember the name of the one Paladin card, but it's a minion that when it dies on the board, it gives you back into your hand all of the spells that you cast on.
Right.
And this is kind of a play on that. Plus
That minion's a Murloc.
that's right. He is a Murloc. And then there's also a rogue weapon. I can't remember what the name of that one is, but after you've expended that weapon, it goes back into your deck with all of the enchantments.
Kingsbane.
The Kingsbane, right. So this seems like a combination of those two cards.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy
It's
ideas.
gonna be good. Yep.
And next up, we do have another Warlock card. It's a 8-mana spell called Void Contract. I haven't read it yet. Hold on. Does destroy half of each player's deck.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, keep in
Best
mind, whenever you play this, it's destroying half of their deck as of that moment. So any cards that were drawn and played already aren't included in that. So it could be a large number. It could be a low number. I mean, when we say large, maybe probably 10 cards to, it depends.
11?
11
cards.
maybe?
If you play this on turn 8, what each player is gonna have on let's see, you start with, I don't know. We'll figure it out once we get there, but didn't do the calculation. But it's just going to be crazy to see. There goes half of your deck. It comes out, burn, 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 and then you're watching your legendaries get wiped out, and your legendaries get like, oh no! The crazy moments playing this card.
Well,
Yeah.
well, let me just throw this out there. There is one way that you could actually make this crazy.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? And you could do it on turn 2.
Oh, what?
There's a little
Tell us,
card
Steve.
called Blood Bloom that says the next spell you cast this turn costs health instead of mana.
Ooh, wow.
So
And that is a Warlock card, right?
Warlock card, turn 2. 2 mana spell. So you cast that and then throw this out on the board on turn 2, and you destroy 13 cards. Oh no, probably not. Probably still, because you still got your 5 that you actually. So it'd be 30,
Here we go, the calculation.
24, so 12 cards probably.
12 cards. It's gonna make for a fast game.
Yeah, just a bit. So fun stuff. Okay, next up we have Savage Striker. This is a druid card, 2 mana, 2/3 minion, battle cry, deal damage to an enemy minion equal to your hero's attack. This is what you talked about earlier, right?
Yeah. So, I've been playing a lot of druid lately, and I've been building a lot of druid decks, and I've tried to make the, your hero gets such and such attack each, this turn only. And I've tried to make those work. There's a lot of spells out there that give your hero plus attack as a druid. And I could never really feel like they were super powerful. So I never put a lot of them. Like I maybe used Claw a few times and maybe a few other ones. But this card may be like, hey, you know what? Remember those spells that gave your hero attack and armor? Well, now it's useful again.
Yeah.
So, this is really cool because it's kind of removal, but you're also getting a 2/3 minion. Dude, this is only 2 mana.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can play this later on in the game after you've played a few spells, giving yourself, let's just say you've bumped your attack up to 4, or 3, let's just say 3, nothing huge. So you're now giving yourself 3 attack, with a spell, and then you're doing 4 damage because if you hero power 2, you've got another damage. You could do some serious stuff, and I like this card a lot, and I think you could really hurt some people's faces with this.
You can't hit face.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You could, well, your hero can hit face.
Yes.
So this could take out that taunt that's in the way,
Right.
with its battle cry.
Or that divine shield.
Yeah, and then you go ahead and use your face to do whatever you need to do. I really like this card. And I may like it just because I can see it having a lot of different uses, but I think it's pretty cool.
Okay, moving
I like it a
on.
lot.
We have Spring Paw, a 1-mana 1/1 beast, 4 hunters, rush, battle cry, add a 1/1 lynx with rush to your hand.
This is really cool.
More beasts. That's all we need.
Yeah.
More beasts.
Yeah.
With rush. So you're popping these things out left and right.
And it just adds it to your hand.
Right.
So that's pretty cool because you can play this on turn 1 and then you have basically the same thing in your hand, except it doesn't make another lynx. It just makes another rush minion.
Yep.
We saw these with a few of the spark cards
Mm-hmm.
last expansion. Those little flame sparks that you kind of shoot out, little 1/1 minions that could attack immediately other minions that had rush. That was neat. So this is cool. I'm glad Hunter's getting this.
Speaking of Hunter, there's quite a spell coming out called Baited Arrow, 5-mana spell. Deal 3 damage, overkill, summon a 5/5 Devil Soar.
I don't know. I think this is bonkers. So it's a common card.
Awesome card.
So if you want the 5/5, you're killing something that has 2 health or less,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So, dude, you could kill your own minion.
Yep.
Attack with a minion, a 1/1, a 1/2, whatever.
Spring Paw, for example.
There you go. And then shoot it with the baited arrow, and you get a 5/5.
Yep.
Or if your opponent only has 2 health left and you kill him with this card, you get a 5/5 waiting for you your next game.
That's not how it works.
That's not how that works.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I like where you're going with. Like where
Maybe
you're
they can add that in.
I think they need to add that. I think
Future.
they need to add that. But this is a cool card. The art is also really cool.
Yeah. Okay, next up is an awesome thought. A shaman spell called Reign of Toads. 6 mana, summon 3/2/4 toads with taunt. Overload 3.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Druid, but we can make a board full of taunts that have 5 health for 6 mana. As long as the opponent has, that many minions. And there's no overload.
Yeah, but this one doesn't need minions on the board. Opponent's minions.
But the Druid spell doesn't have the cool animation that this one does.
That's
You
true.
get 3 great big green glowing toads falling out of the sky, going boom, boom, boom. And there you go. 3,
This
2,
is
4
true.
toads.
This is true. You pay for the animation. You pay for
Yes.
And keep in mind that the shaman has a spell that can completely eliminate all your overload.
That's true.
this. Is
So
true.
you can actually get a huge benefit from it. So I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is Pyromaniac. 3 mana, mage minion, 3/4 minion. Whenever your hero power kills a minion, draw a card. Well, considering you can only shoot your hero power off once per turn, unless you have another card in play that allows you to do it multiple times, then it's likely you're only going to get 1 or 2 at the most out of this one.
This could see some play in the in an odd mage deck. I think when your hero power, the mage's hero power gets doubled,
Yes,
make
very
it a
much
little
so.
bit easier to kill minions.
That's right. And you could, there's the ability to give your hero power an extra damage. So you could be killing off 2 mana, 2 health minions instead, not just 1 health minion. So there's some things around it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it works well with a lot of the mage cards too, especially the Frost Lich and jazz.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Then we have our legendary mage card, Hex Lord Malakras. 8 mana, 5/5 minion. His battle cry is add a copy of your opening hand to your hand, except this card.
Amazing concept. I love it.
One of the hardest parts of this card is remembering what your opening hand was. Right?
Yeah, you're like, well, do I want to do that right now?
Well, this makes you completely rethink your mulligan. if you go through your mulligan and you've got Uncle Tony, a bunch of other good cards in it that you want to use later, and have a copy of each of those cards, oh, it's like, okay, I'm going to keep all these cards because Hexlord's going to give me all those things back, and I'll have an extra version of each of them.
Well, let's see. So what you want to do, you want to mulligan for 2 Sorcerer's Apprentices.
Right.
And you keep those in your hand. And then later on, you play Hexlord, and then you have 4 Sorcerer's Apprentices in your hand. And then you just play them out and have fun.
All of your spells are free.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So this is
I agree with Rez. This is a neat concept. This is something we haven't really seen before, and it's pretty cool. This will be neat to see in play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, only 2 left for this round. Rogue card, Cannon Barrage. 6 mana. Deal 3 damage to a random enemy. Repeat for each of your pirates.
Pirates!
Rez.
This is
Rez
gonna
is
be
going to
great.
be pirate rogue.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of pirates are, not huge cards. So, your opponent's going to be picking them off pretty easily. But if you're able to fill your board with pirates, then this is just insult to injury for your opponent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's almost like a win more.
Yeah.
Like you're obviously already doing well.
So this
if you
is
have a lot of pirates on the board.
This is an overload card without overload.
Yeah. Right.
It's more like an overboard card.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did we see the animation?
Oh
for
yeah.
this one?
Oh yeah. This was this was on the What's Next.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool stuff. It was really neat.
And the last card we're going to talk about is a new paladin spell called Timeout. 3 mana, your hero is immune until next turn.
Ice Block is back.
There you go. Rez got it.
Ice Block for the Paladin this time.
There you go. Cool stuff. Oh my goodness, dude. Here we go. This is starting of card reveal season. We every week now we're going to be going crazy with new cards, and you guys won't want to miss the next few episodes where we talk about all these cards. So cool. Oh my goodness. So far, I would say, okay, let's do our favorite class so far from what the cards we've seen and what we've heard. I'm on Warlock.
I'm on Warlock.
Warlock?
I
like Shaman because of our new hero card.
Toads?
Oh, because of the new heroes.
No, it's the Toads. Come on, it's the Toads.
Shaman gets a new skin.
Toads.
Yeah, it's because of the Toads. It's all about the looks for Rez.
Yeah.
You get a new hero portrait, and the Toads look cool. It's all about looking cool.
Okay, now we didn't actually talk about the hero portrait. So what do we got with hero portrait?
Oh yeah, so there's 2 bundles that you can purchase. So you can purchase what I think is called the Challengers bundle, where you get the card back because there's a Rastakhan's.
Yeah, it's $19.99. It comes with 17 card packs, and the unique Ready to Rumble card back.
Yeah, for $19.99 you get 17. I don't understand the 17. I guess they figured that a card back is worth 2 card packs.
Guess so, yeah.
Doing. I don't know, or 3. But then there's also the next bundle.
Yeah,
up. And what's the name of that?
Rastakhan's Rumble.
Okay, Rastakhan's Rumble.
And
the
it's
actual
$49.99.
Rastakhan's bundle.
Probably
right.
It says Rumble pack.
Yeah.
But
well, anyway,
50 packs.
Yeah.
A unique card back, and the alternate shaman hero King Rastakhan.
Yeah, Rastakhan himself. Yes. So his face looks like a wooden totem, right?
Here's his face on screen. It's a troll with a massive crown.
Yeah, there you go.
Massive
It's
hat.
a massive crown. Yeah, I've seen it from a distance.
And he's got glowing hands.
So I have to say that the artwork for this guy's headpiece there totally reminds me of Emperor Kuzco from Disney's The Emperor's New Groove.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think one of his emotes is something like, "Don't throw off my groove," or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. I have to check.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff. We've gone a little bit longer than normal, but we wanted to kind of give it good justice to kind of cover all bases. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more BlizzCon as we go through things and next couple of weeks. Write in, let us know what your favorite moments were. What are the things that you enjoyed the most out of the announcements and all that? I do want to give a shout out to our legendary patron, Deadpool. And I do want to mention that he's been joined by another legendary patron, Chris Vanaken. Thank you so much, Chris, for supporting us and helping us make this happen every week. We appreciate it, and looking forward to sending out something special for you two this month. And let me just throw a hint that it might have actually come from BlizzCon.
Nice.
So
sweet.
Be looking in your physical mail for this. Anyways, also, I think you have a few shout outs you wanted to mention if you haven't already.
That came from God. I want to give it. So I told you guys before we left for BlizzCon, one of our episodes, I think the episode right before we left, I said one of my goals was to meet people that actually have listened to the podcast and enjoy the pod. Well, I don't even know if I said enjoy. I just said listen. So I did that. And I met a few of those. And I also met people that were just enjoying Hearthstone and enjoying the con. And I want to give them a shout out. So shout out to Ashley and Sean from Florida. I met them and they were definitely enjoying the BlizzCon atmosphere. Kalani and Doom from New Jersey and Virginia. Super cool people. And WBZPWNR. I want to give him a shout out. Super cool guy. He actually did a cosplay at BlizzCon, and he was the guy who, and I keep thinking of Classic WoW, because when they did the South Park episode, it looked like Classic WoW, and I think it was. But he was cosplaying as the guy that was sitting at the computer poning everybody. And those letters that I mentioned were Noobs Poner. So shout out to Noobs Poner. We met him at the hotel. Super nice guy, and he was enjoying BlizzCon, and intentional Doritos in his beard. Is that right, Rez?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So later on for BlizzCon, his name's Jared, by the way. He had his face done up as Diva with the triangles on the cheeks.
Yeah.
Had some mascara and lashes in, glitter in his beard, and Doritos in his beard.
And I said intentional Doritos?
Intentional Doritos, indeed.
Intentional Doritos.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. I did meet Rez and I had to get some coffee one day. We were feeling kind of conrific, like we needed a little bit of coffee. And I met a father and son. It was the father's, I think he had been there 2 or 3 times at BlizzCon, and it was his son's first time. Jonah and Daniel from SoCal. Really cool people. It was so awesome seeing a BlizzCon, and I want to give them a shout out. I also want to give a shout out to Michael. We actually met him at the Fireside Gathering at Con Before the Storm. And then he actually hung out with us at one of the panels on the picnic table. And we actually got to take a picture with him, the whole LOTI crew, and Michael on the BlizzCon Tavern stage.
Yeah.
Really neat stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Technically, it was just the stairs. They wouldn't let us get any further up.
Well, they wouldn't let you. Yeah. Shout out to Tyler and Bree from Cali. They were people, obviously, I met at BlizzCon, and give them a shout out. And Shannon from Anaheim. They were, we all 3 of them, Tyler and Bree were sitting on one side of the picnic table. Shannon and I were sitting on the other, and we were trying to get into the Fireside Gathering. I believe Tyler and Bree actually got in and got to participate. And I was handing my phone off to Shannon, and I think she was actually working with a iOS device, and I had my Pixel, and everybody was having issues, and I kept trying. I had my iPad, and I kept handing her my phone to log in on account, and she finally did get in, and I believe she either got an IMSI or she got to play a match, but either way, she got to, participate. And it was super cool meeting those people and hanging out with them. And then on the way to getting on my flight, I met Marielle. She is an actress in LA, and I told her that I was in Anaheim for a conference. And she said, "For what?" And I said, "Oh, just, a Blizzard game called Hearthstone." And she says, "Oh." So immediately, and I told her I did a podcast. She starts, looking up us on her phone, and I thought it was really, really neat. So people interested in podcasts and Hearthstone. Very cool. So shout out to all those people. And I believe, Rez, you actually got to finally meet someone at BlizzCon.
I did. I was most excited to meet Zeroshio, because I'd done a little bit of interaction with him before, just through you guys on the show. But and I've listened to him on the Hero Power podcast that they do. When I was over in Korea on my way to school every day, I would either listen to Legend of the Innkeeper or Hero Power, and that kept was just something that I got in the habit of doing. Great guy, and it was really awesome getting to meet Zeroshio and hanging out with him and his wife this weekend. And he gave me this. I'm going to hold it up for our Twitch stream viewer. This is a Boombot tin from Gen Con, and there aren't many of them left. So thank you so much, Zeroshio. It was super cool to finally meet you, and yeah, awesome. Also, a shout out to Josh Augustine, who we met originally at the Con Before the Storm in 2016. I think he was on the panel with you, right, Espo?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Awesome guy. We stood around in the Hearthstone area and talked for a while about what he does at Blizzard. Now he's a Blizzard employee. He does quest design for World of Warcraft, which is super cool, mind blowing. I would love that job. And also, he has his own blog. I think he does a podcast.
Yeah, it's called Game Diplomat.
Yes, Game Diplomat, and you can find him at gamediplomat.com. And he's on Twitter at jaugustine.
With that
awesome
moment we were all talking to him, I was just thinking about this a little bit. Like, if anybody was totally into podcasting, were Hearthstone podcasts, and they knew our faces for everybody on podcasts, because all you know is our voices. If you knew that and you walked past this group of people, you would have stopped and went, "Oh my goodness, there's Josh Augustine, there's Andrew, there was you and I and Rez, and there was what's his name from Blizzlet?
Andrew, right?
Well, Andrew's there too, but Blizzlet, and there's like all these podcasters standing there in a circle.
Yeah, Storm Rage was
Storm
there.
Rage, yeah. And then a few minutes later, up comes Kripparrian walking up. It's like this group of who's sort of that nobody knows who we are.
Because in podcasting world, you don't have a face.
Right. So it's just kind of funny. I thought I giggled to myself inside.
Yeah. So, his podcast is all about indie games.
Yes.
I believe. Yeah. And I did buy the one game that he suggested to us there on Steam. Did you get it?
Oh yeah.
Book of Demons or something like that.
He's so annoying because he's so good at what he does.
You told him that too.
Oh, I did. He's like, Espo said, "Oh, I don't follow you on Twitter." I said, "Don't do it. Don't." Because, and Josh's face just dropped. He's like, Why? I said, because he tells you about all these awesome indie games, and then you have to go buy every single one of them. You've cost him $60 in the last month. He laughed. So,
one last shout out. I met in what was this was after Con Before the Storm.
It was Con Before the Storm. It was the meet and greet.
It was the meet and greet. Zeroshio was at the meet and greet. Yeah.
Right. So I met a very famous furry. And this is somebody.
I'm sorry.
Well, at BlizzCon, there are lots of people there in cosplay, and this time there were a few furries there in their full fursuit, and I recognized this one because I have some friends who are furries and in the furry community. I've been to Anthrocon a couple of times, and I've seen this person on stream a couple of times. Telephone. So shout out to Telephone. I got to take a picture with Telephone. That was really cool. I got to send it back to my furry friends, and they were all jealous. They were like, "Oh, furry's so awesome!"
His
Telephone's
outfit
so awesome.
was amazing.
Yeah.
It's
I
actually,
want to.
yeah.
His
Tell-
acting.
Yes.
So this was my first, I guess, up close and personal experience with a quote unquote furry.
in character.
Yeah, he was in character.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, he was like a mix between an alpaca and a lemur.
I think they call that style like a fairy dragon or something like that.
Okay,
I'm not sure
okay.
exactly,
Okay.
but that's a particular style, and
Oh, dude,
I think it might have been started by Telephone or something.
Well, he was on point. Like his
Yeah.
acting, and I believe he had a voice modulation machine or something going on because
Something.
man, it was so cool. Like the noises he was making and just his acting.
The little motion.
He was professional,
Yeah.
extremely professional.
Yeah.
And it kind of, going into meeting him, I was like, wow, okay, like this is interesting.
It's kind of like if you've ever met somebody who is a professional mime or a puppeteer,
Yes.
Right.
you forget that that's somebody acting. You just get absorbed into, oh, this is that character. That's what that is. You just don't realize that.
Yeah, and that's
somebody acting there.
Yeah, this person, male, female, I have no idea because they were
female.
Yeah, they're
sure. Yeah.
So good. Like just the acting, and they understood their costume too. Every part of that costume was a part of their appendage. Like it had a tail, wings, and things on its head, ears. But it was cool because they knew exactly how to articulate each of those by moving certain ways and doing certain things, and I was very impressed.
Right.
As an artist, you notice these things, and you can appreciate them.
Yeah, I was like that because I've been on stage before, and you have to do certain things because differently for people to notice.
Yeah.
Articulate certain ways, facial expressions you have to do differently in front of people so they notice them. And this person obviously knew every part of that costume and knew everything to do correctly to make those things operate and work.
And it's just such a treat being at BlizzCon. You get to see so many different things like that. So many people in their amazing costumes, even if they don't go and compete or go on stage. There's just so much stuff going on. It's so much performance just by the fans of Blizzard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Go ahead. I had two myself. I want to throw.
Well, one last thing, and I wanted to say this. Talking about telephone, Josh Augustine, obviously on the panel with me 2 years ago for the Con Before the Storm. Andrew Brown and I talked a lot, and I kept on thanking him and telling him how great a job he's done since he's taken over for Josh at the Happy Hearthstone. And I'm standing there and I'm talking to Andrew, and we were, it was the second day of the con, kind of winding down. We're hanging out in the tavern, and I said, yesterday was my birthday, and just hanging out, doing cool stuff. And he said, "Oh, well, I got you something." And I was like, "Well, what are you talking about?" He was like, "Oh yeah," and he's messing around with the phone. And I'm like, well, "Andrew, what are you talking about?" It's like, I got you something. Don't worry about it. Okay, so. We're hanging out, and he kept texting on his phone, and I was like, okay, this is crazy, right? So in walks Josh Augustine in his staff shirt. He had been tasked with hours to work, so he had to work from 3 p.m. till 10 p.m. at BlizzCon, but he came by around 2:00 to hang out with us, and of course, Andrew Brown played it up as, this was my birthday present. And I think at one point in the conversation with Josh, I said, dude, I love this birthday present. Like, this is awesome. He was like, oh yeah, by the way, you have like 3 more minutes. Andrew only paid me to talk to you for 3 more minutes. But it was, Josh, such a cool guy. Obviously the first Hearthstone podcast out there. I think even before, well, they had announced the game, and he was immediately podcasting about it. So I think his moniker is the longest running Hearthstone podcast in the history of space and time and cards. There it is, right there. There's his card. So really cool stuff. Shout out to Josh Augustine being a founder of the Hearthstone podcast community, right? He was the first one. So, I would say he founded the Hearthstone podcast community.
Yep.
So shout out to him. And Andrew's doing a great job. He took over. Is just amazing. But that was a good birthday present, having Josh Augustine show up, and I got to hang out with him.
Okay. Well, I only have 3 ones. There was one time we were in line for food, and there was this couple in front of us, and I don't remember their names because I'm not good like Espo where I text myself with names, but they had been he had been to 8 BlizzCons himself. She had been to 6 of them. They were there together for their multiple BlizzCons.
That was Tina and Andrew.
Was it?
I'm kidding. I
No,
don't
it
know.
wasn't.
Scott and Beatrice.
And they had also gone to Disneyland prior to BlizzCon, where they got engaged. So I wanted to say shout out, awesome, congratulations, you two. It was awesome to meet you guys. Good luck with the future. They're both huge gamers. They've both been playing since they were very young. Very awesome to meet them. Second of all, I keep talking about this because our Uber driver coming from the hotel to the airport was a little famous at one point. The IBF light middleweight champion of the world in boxing from Russia, Roman Karmazin. And I'm like tripping out because I'm like, this is weird. You don't get to meet, you get to meet so many cool people in the cars. I mean, I looked him up, found him on his website. He had a boxing school back in St. Petersburg. He's like real famous, and he had his trainer was, or his manager at one point was Don King. And it's just crazy to meet this guy. So shout out for him. And then lastly, I want to shout out Chris Sierra. He is communication manager, community manager for Blizzard. And we got to meet him face to face at the event and share information, got a lot of conversation with him, and we're looking forward to working with him going forward with Blizzard. And he's just an awesome guy. Turns out he grew up where Espo lives currently, and where I've lived there for 3 years, and just like running down the road from each other practically. So it's a lot of fun to meet him, and looking forward to working with him going forward. So lots of fun. I think we need to wrap up because we are going really long now.
Yeah. I was going to do a shout out to somebody I met on Hollywood Boulevard, but let's just say it's an unspoken shout out. And this creature knows who he is.
Yes.
And he's currently probably on Hollywood Boulevard yelling at people.
Or Kashyyyk.
Or he could be on Kashyyyk.
Yes.
All right. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with us. Sorry we went a little bit too long. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And next week we will be talking about more cards individually, again, as they reveal more cards and more neat stuff and getting all exciting about all the new stuff. So for now, that ends it here. And we will talk with you next week.
Good job, team.
Good job,
thank
team.
you. Thank you, Rez.
You're welcome.
Done.
1
hour and 40, 53, no, 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, my goodness. How many of our listeners know what Kashyyyk is and what famous characters from there?
Where Kashyyyk is. Steve, did you see me put that in there? Rez, I could tell as soon as he saw it. His face was like, oh, racist Chewbacca. Shout out to racist Chewbacca on Hollywood Boulevard. I don't know who's listening on Twitch right now, but
Deadpool's there.
Deadpool's there.
We Rez and I got there a day early for Halloween, and we wanted to hang out on Hollywood because I had never been. And we rented a car, drove up to Hollywood Boulevard, and had a blast. Oh my goodness!
I mean, it's Halloween day, but it looks like that on Halloween Boulevard every day. There's just people in costume running around like crazy.
The thing is, the costume that this guy had on, it was a Chewbacca costume.
Yeah.
It looked like it was the same costume that he had on in 1977.
It was really bad. There was like he was like mostly balding. There's just like these plugs of hair coming out.
Yeah, they were
Like,
all matted together.
He needed some Rogaine real bad.
He smelled like urine, cigarette smoke, and hot garbage.
Wow.
But he was tall, like Chewbacca. So he had to be like
yeah.
6 foot something.
But he was racist, and and I don't know that Chewbacca can be racist. I don't know that Chewbacca can be racist. Like it was really
didn't make
odd.
any sense. Didn't make any sense.
But
He
oh
just
my
thought-
gosh.
And then we saw him, like after we walked back that direction again, we saw him and Elvis and Venom getting a picture together and being racist together. Right on Hollywood
They
Boulevard.
were all three of them being racist.
Like, what's up, guys?
Well, they said it best in the famous musical Avenue Q. Everyone's a little bit racist.
Well, those guys are more than a little bit.
They were very. Yeah. But it was Hollywood Boulevard, and like,
I know.
Why? What in the world? Like, it blew my mind. And Russ is like, just don't make eye contact. And then I said,
keep walking.
I was like, I kind of didn't understand why he was being so mean to these Asian people. And I was like, you know what? I want to video these guys. I want to take pictures. And Russ is like, no, because that's what got the Asians in trouble. They probably took a picture with him, and then he asked them for money. They didn't give him money. And he said, if you try to take a picture, he's going to ask you for money. Then you're going to be the target. And I was like,
that's right. Yeah. That's what they do. They stand around in front of Grauman's Hollywood Theater, Oh, everybody wants to get a picture with Chewbacca. Wow, Chewbacca's here. Yeah, you go up, take a picture with him, and then you're like, hey, thanks. And he's like, $20.
Yeah.
And you don't give it to him. Like, oh, I didn't know I needed to pay. He gets mad. What do you think I'm doing out here? Doing this for free?
Yeah. And then he's just
ruined if you don't give him 20
Oh, you're done. Chewbacca's on your back like Yoda on Luke.
And then all the other costume guys are gonna gang up on you too. Like, hey, you better give him some money. He works hard. He's out here every day sweating. You think it's cool in that costume? No.
Yeah.
I
didn't realize this. Rez had to.
Yeah.
It was a quick study. I understood very fast.
Yeah.
We're in LA where, actors and actresses are born and die. And in fact, their stars are on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
So, everybody out there is looking to sell themselves, in some way, even Chewbacca. So, I understood. It was obviously a quick learn. It was a quick study and, fun stuff. Yeah. Dude, I just the whole week was just awesome.
It was great.
From Wednesday through Sunday was amazing. And again, I said this before the show. Thanks to you guys. I appreciate it. You made my BlizzCon and my experience pre and post awesome. And even tonight was awesome. Such a good show. I hope our viewers appreciate it. And of course we do it for them. So I hope they like it. And shout out to Deadpool and shout out to our new legendary patron, Chris. You guys are awesome. All right. Dude, we should play some Blizzard games.
Yes.
That sounds like
fun.
Okay, well, thanks guys for hanging out with us now, and we're going to head out and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Later.